Hateful graffiti found at a local Little League field.
Was really disgusted by it and troubled by it.
Why this could point to a growing problem and the unexpected surge the local postal service is now dealing with and how it can translate into new jobs.
Live from the Script Studios, this is 10 News.
Up near the structure, and then we walked down the stairs to get away from it and discovered it was everywhere.
An ugly sight greeted people at the Little League fields in Allied Gardens, graffiti laced with hate. As 10 News reporter Michael Chen explains, some worry the tagging could point to a growing problem.
Early Tuesday morning, Dave went for a walk with his 10-year-old son. Eventually, they made their way to the Allied Gardens Little League fields and saw a large tag on the side of a concession building.
Saw China spray painted in huge letters on one side of the building. Took him off to the side so he wouldn't have to see it.
That spray-painted message,
Was really disgusted by it and troubled by it.
repeated over and over.
First the profanity, and then immediately just the hate.
On the other side of the building and a concrete stairway.
The graffiti was a real slap in the face to everything that the community has built there and what they teach their kids there.
Dave posted the photos of the graffiti on the Nextdoor site, neighbors reaching out to the Little League officials, the tagging painted over by the next day. But the hurt is hard to cover up.
I know how diverse San Diego is, and it made me worry immediately for people who would be targeted as a result of something like this.
Dave worries it's a short path from this to targeted hate aimed at Asian Americans. Hate crimes and incidents directed at Asian Americans have surged during the pandemic, reports a Los Angeles Area Commission on Human Relations. More than 100 acts of hate-motivated hostility since February. A hostility now felt on a place belonging to kids.
Little League field is supposed to be about community and respect. I think respect is the biggest thing, and that's what was hurt most.
Michael Chen, 10 News.
A Little League organizer told us the cleanup expense is tough because their fundraisers have been postponed because of the pandemic. Anyone with information on the case is asked to call San Diego Police. The questions of when and how to get the country back up and running continue to plague politicians and health officials. My co-anchor Steve Atkinson is joining us now live from his home. Steve, the decision could have dire consequences.
No doubt, especially when you consider the staggering number. Confirmed deaths because of COVID-19 is now nearing 85,000. And as you mentioned, most officials would agree that reopening America and the states is not a one-size-fits-all. And while the president is encouraging a lot of states and businesses to reopen, not everybody's on board with that. Here's ABC's Zachary Quiche.
The latest jobs report confirms that millions of Americans continue to lose their jobs, but how to reopen continues to be a confusing battle being waged in courtrooms and state capitals around the country. Despite a rise in deaths and positive coronavirus tests and states started easing strict stay-at-home orders, President Trump made it clear what his goal is.
We will have a great time in Pennsylvania. It's a tremendous state. They ought to start thinking about opening it up. You have a lot of people who want their freedom, and they'll get their freedom very soon.
Residents in Wisconsin getting a taste of that freedom. Overnight, the state Supreme Court overturning the governor's extended stay-at-home orders, calling the restrictions unconstitutional and unenforceable, giving the green light to bars and restaurants to open immediately. Governor Tony Evers addressing the state this afternoon.
Because of the court's decision, many more people could get sick and overwhelm our hospitals, but not if we stay the course and stay home.
Just days ago, the nation's leading expert on infectious disease, Dr. Anthony Fauci, expressed concerns over reopening too quickly. President Trump did not agree.
Oh, I think they should open the schools, absolutely. I think they should.
Many states are still trying to determine if returning to traditional classroom learning is a possibility in the fall. California State Schools, the nation's largest public university system, announced students across their 23 campuses will take courses online in the fall. However, the University of Arizona is taking a different approach and will welcome students on campus. ABC News got exclusive access to their research labs where they can test and process COVID-19 and antibody tests. Officials are promising a test for every person who wants one. The school has also converted a residence hall into a recovery center for students who test positive. New Jersey's governor has given the okay to open up beaches and lakes along the New Jersey shore beginning May 22nd, just in time for Memorial Day weekend. There are strict guidelines in place, both in terms of capacity, and the okay has been given for families to cluster. Zachary Quiche, ABC News, New York.
All right, even if students return to college campuses this fall, one group might be noticeably absent from that. Schools are preparing for a big drop in international students. Worldwide travel, of course, restrictions that could affect their abilities to get their proper visas. The Institute of International Education says many won't want to pay for remote learning. Last year, there were a little more than 1 million international students studying here in the U.S. A lot of those right here in California, and those international revenues from those students are a big